You should be able to find a link to that in the Facebook group as well. Looks like Monk has said that he's, after banning, is going to be playing his Mage, Rogue, and Paladin, and Mochii is going to be playing his Shaman, Rogue, and Paladin decks. So we're going to see Rogue and Paladin from both players, but Mochii is playing Shaman, and Gyatso is playing Mage.
Yeah, there you go. And again, as we pointed out before the break, the compelling facets of this series is that Gyatso is playing a very control-heavy lineup, looking to be the controlling player and more of the anti-aggressive kind of decks in the arsenal there. Whereas Mochii, and especially highlighting that this Death Rattle Enzoth Rogue is looking to beat out those particular control decks. So we'll see how the deck building and the lineups comes into play this series.
Looks like Gyatso is leading with his Rogue while Mochii is playing as Shaman. Gyatso has the coin with Rogues, you've got to be happy with that. While Mochii has no turn 1 Shaman play, Gyatso is getting the Firefly to get the ball rolling.
Yep,
Looks like Mochii has chosen to Hero Power instead of Galactic Crawler because he's assuming there's going to be some pirates coming out of the Rogue, which is fair enough. Looks like Gyatso is going to be coining out SI7 Agent to take out that totem and getting it on with his Firefly.
I respect that play. I mean, I think we all have a bit of PTSD from when Spell Power Totem and Spirit Claws was more of a thing, and you just want to kill that totem whenever it comes up, really.
I mean, not just that, but we still know that Maelstrom Portal is a thing that does see play, and you and I can see that Mochii does have Maelstrom Portal in hand, and that can be very dangerous. Mochii instead is just Hero Power again.
Tech as well, being the Lightning Storm from Mochii.
It's extra good against the aggro decks. As we know that Mochii's lineup is trying to pick on control more, that means that his Shaman is probably especially suited to try and take out aggro decks, which makes sense. Turn 4, Mochii's now got a Jade Lightning to take out the SI7 Agent, which just leaves Gyatso with a couple of 1/2 elementals. But we can see here
how do you feel about the big cleave here?
Well, what's interesting is it looks like he's
could have done this a bit differently, right?
Nope. Yes, he could. But what he's going for is an 8/8 Edwin. But I think you could have done this better by getting another Flame Elemental in hand. So he played the Edwin, Shadow Step and then replayed the Edwin. Whereas if he just attacked with the Flame Elemental Shadow Step that played that, then he could have played Edwin as well and got an extra Flame Elemental. He seems to be okay with that though. An 8/8 Edwin is pretty good against a Shaman that does not want to immediately devolve you, and it looks like that he's not going to. First. Yeah. Gosh. So that was a Southsea Deckhand getting patches out of the deck. Plague Scientist giving patches poisonous to take out the thing from below. The Southsea Deckhand got to take out the totem, and it looked like Gyatso got to go up to Mochii's face for 11 damage to drop Mochii down to 13.
Yeah, and I really like the Dagger Charge going to face here in acknowledgement that the nice 6-mana turn is Dagger up Corsair just to apply that even bit more pressure, should you choose to do so. So I really like the play of Gyatso here. Not too much to think about, but, doing it correctly, which is important, obviously.
Absolutely. And at this point, it looks like Mochii needs to have a Devolve, which we can see he does not have. Devolve at the very least to get rid of Van Cleef. Otherwise, he's just playing his Galactic Crawler to take out one of the pirates. Nope, he's instead choosing to Lightning Storm, and I'm guessing play a Mana Tide Totem to see if he can't draw into Devolve.
Fishing for that Devolve.
Lightning Storm rolled low on the Plague Scientist, so that still lives as well, which means we're going to see those minions... Well, I was going to say we're going to see those minions attacking for 10.
It's like we're going to see lethal. Or are we not going to see lethal? Well, we saw
no, he's just straight up missing lethal.
Yeah.
Because I think if you just play the Naga Corsair and... sorry, what is it called? It is a Naga Corsair, and then play Cold Blood, then that's lethal. It doesn't really matter. In this case. But yeah, I did say that Gyatso did pass up lethal there.
And look, as you flagged before, and a lot of the time, some of these tiny misplays, some of these misplays won't matter, but there will be times that they definitely matter, and those mistakes and those shortcuts will catch up with you eventually. Absolutely they will. Even when you win a game, I think it's important to look back and see if there are any mistakes you made, and try and still play those better for subsequent games for when it will make a difference. All right, so quick start there, and we'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment as each player chooses what their other decks are going to do. So looking again, Gyatso had Mage, Rogue, and Paladin. Mochii had Shaman, Rogue, and Paladin, so that's Mochii's Shaman down.
sorry, the Shaman's still there. That's Gyatso's Rogue down. So Gyatso now only has Mage and Paladin. And as we know, those are two more controlling decks. And they're going to have to get through Mochii's Inzoth Jade Rogue, which will be very interesting to see.
I find it interesting that Mochii's chosen to actually queue up. The Shaman. I've just seen the Cold Light Oracle and got a bit startled.
Yes, I mean, we didn't know that there was a Cold Light Oracle in Mochii's Shaman, but I'm guessing maybe he has a Curator in there at some point. He's got the Beasts as the Galaka Crawlers, so maybe he's got a Dragon and a Murloc in there, just as extra cards to go with the Curator. This is just a guess, of course. Otherwise, I'm not sure why you'd be playing the Cold Light Oracle in there.
I do like the spin on the decks. I'm not sure about the Coin Totem there.
Neither am I. I mean, he does have a lot of 2-mana plays in hand. He's got 2 Jade Claws, he's got a Galaka Crawler, and he's got a Maelstrom Portal. And he's got a Thing from Below, which he knows he's going to have to get out there eventually with Hero Powering, but I still don't know that you want to spend the coin on turn 1.
Especially if you're not toteming again on turn 2.
Yeah. So he's just played a Galaka Crawler. The Medivh's Valet has attacked into Galaka's Crawler, and the Hero Power finishes it. I mean, I guess he could Jade Claws or Maelstrom Portal here. I don't like Jade Claws on turn 3 because that leaves him only 3 mana on turn 4, and he's got so many 2-mana plays that he's just sort of stunting his growth there. But no, he's gone with Jade Claws anyway.
I think the important thing in this game, to Mochii's detriment, is that the Frost Lich King Jane has already been picked up. Yeah,
the fact that it's in Gyatso's opening hand is not great for the long run. And of course, there's a Baron Geddon and a Flame Strike, both of which are exceptionally good against the Evolved Shaman, as long as you can stop the Evolved Doppelgangster combo going off. I think looking at Mochii's list, does it even have Doppelgangster? I mean, we can see a Bloodlust in hand, but once you start seeing Lightning Storm, did you say that? A Cold Light Oracle, I still can't believe we saw that. I'm beginning to think maybe the Doppelgangster Evolved combo may not even be in there.
I mean, 2 things on Gyatso's behalf. Last turn, he chose to float 2 mana instead of playing a Glyph, which might be fair enough if you don't particularly know what you're up against yet. I don't know if I agree with playing the Barrier here either, because now you want certain as to when you're going to have another Surety on the Valet proc. So just some interesting decision-making early on.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like playing the Barrier there either. Like, especially when the deck doesn't have a lot of healing. Sometimes what you need to do is play the Barrier post-Ice Block blocking just to replenish your health total at that point. But, maybe he just felt the need to get it down. We're 1 turn away from getting Baron Geddon down, and Baron Geddon is going to do nasty things to that opposing board. There was the Cold Light Oracle, which unfortunately just helps Gyatso draw into more of the great cards he needs for the late game. It's Frostbolt on the Spell Power Totem. He's really worried about the Spell Power Totem, but I don't know why. It's not like any particularly high value.
Or his minions, they're not decisive in any manner in winning the game. They've already done their job, both of his minions. The only decision you have to make here is whether you want to just slam the Baron Geddon relatively soon or just wait for it to be post-Jaina to heal for a lot.
Well, the interesting thing here is that Mochii has played a Thing from Below, which means Baron Geddon on turn 7 is not terrific.
Yeah, that's right.
He's just gone straight into Primordial Glyph when I thought this would have been a reasonable Flame Strike turn.
Me too.
Maybe not.
You could have bumped in and Flame Striked and just kept the board simple leading into the Jaina turn very soon.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to sink mana into that Jaina turn, but instead he's played his Ice Block. He got a Polymorph on the Thing from Below, but I think he kind of wanted to have that Polymorph for when Eye of Blackpaw comes down, perhaps? Maybe not. But yes, a big pickup being the Doppelgangster for Mochii, and he has an Evolve in hand. And given that he's got 2 totems and a sheep already in play, this is a pretty big board.
He does have the option of evolving again.
He does, and I would consider it, quite honest, because a lot of and he's doing it. A lot of those minions come very close to dying to. There we go, very close to dying to the Plane Strike. Whereas now he has at least 1, 2, 3, 4 minions with at least 5 health, and one of them being Archmage Antonidas. So I think that second evolve was quite worth it.
I feel like this has to be a Blizzard turn here.
Yep, I agree.
Hang on to the Antonidas, and setting up for that Flame Strike.
Yeah,
and we'll see how Mochii rolls with the punches here. Oh, we've seen Thrall picked up here as well.
Oh my goodness, these are some solid draws for Mochii here. I think you definitely Thrall at this point. Given what Gyatso did this turn, you gotta think there's a Flame Strike coming, or at least hoping for a Flame Strike off the top. And if you know your opponent's hoping at least for a Flame Strike off the top, or has one in hand, they play around it. And Thrall is definitely going to do that.
Oh, that's a King Crush.
There you go.
I would definitely be evolving the Bomb Squad.
Yes, I was going to say, it's not the best evolve. Getting a Bomb Squad and what's that, Lotus Agent, so 5/3, and a Blade of Cthulhu, I think that's called. They will die to this Flame Strike, but getting a King Crush and a King Mosh and a Bomb Squad that you can hero power away. He got an Ivory Knight, so it still died. It was a pretty solid Flame Strike. It took everything but the King Crush, but an 8/4 is huge. Still, I think that Flame Strike is going to work quite well. Well, it depends.
I'm thinking whether you wanted to AI potentially twice into the Frost Nova, or whether you committed to the Flame Strike there. Because again, you can just attack with the King Crush and evolve it into something big.
Yeah, there's and both evolves are gone, and it's that Thrall hero power that's the real problem. Turning King Crush into a 10/10 was pretty good. We're playing Frostlich Jaina apparently because we're going to need to be able to deal with things, but I've got a funny feeling that that 10/10 backed up by the Transmute Spirit from Thrall is going to be enough. Yeah, I think...
so we have the Bloodlust come out here potentially for the proc. We also have the Jade Lightning in terms of options, again, for the proc.
It doesn't look like he wants to clear the Ice Block with with Bloodlust, so maybe Jade Lightning will have to do it. Jade Lightning at least puts him to 1.
Yep.
Baron Geddon will give him a fair amount of life back on the following turn.
Yeah, Baron Geddon into Frost Nova seems really nice.
Yep, I can't see any other plays that you really want to do at that point. There's the Ice Block popped. Oh, and a Hex on the Water Elemental. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that he's even playing Hex, as well as the Doppelgangster combo.
Yeah, I don't see a world where
I think you definitely need the Frost Nova, don't you? No, you can play the Baron Geddon because it'll heal you for a lot of damage. You definitely need the Frost Nova. Definitely need the Frost Nova. Lucky to have the Polymorph there to take out that 10/10, and or whatever it ends up being. There's a 3/1 Jade Golem, which I'm guessing might be the thing that gets transmuted to prevent the hero power taking it out to make a water elemental.
Ooh, another Hex off the top here to actually deal with the
Goodness gracious. Mochii's decks. This is something else.
This is something else.
2 Hexes. 2 Lightning Storms.
Hexes, 2 Lightning
Still Doppelgangster Evolve combo.
Yeah, it's insane. And choosing to forego the hero power to play Doppelgangsters here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, do we have any other Frost Novas of the like? Because that Doomsayer at the top for Gyatso would be pretty good if he does. Nope, not in the first Arcane Interconnect.
I think we still had a Blizzard, which is what we were looking for there.
Yep. So there's a Frostbolt on the 10/10 Behemoth-y thing. What's it called? Just a faceless behemoth. A hero power on the 3/1 Jade Golem to get a water elemental, and then a Doomsayer on the grounds that I guess the frog blocks it. But unfortunately, a Lightning Storm means that the Doomsayer is maybe going down. No, I'm guessing there's Bloodlust to finish it, of course. Lightning Storm takes out the frog. Bloodlust on the Doppelgangsters will mean that that's lethal.
And that being there, the King Crush connecting for 16 and then turning into a 10/10. Really decisive in that game.
I think so. It's very decisive in that game, exactly. I mean, it seemed like the back-to-back evolves there weren't great in that he was trying to protect his minions from the Flame Strike, but getting the King Crush was excellent. It didn't really matter that the rest of the minions are fragile at that point when you get to go for 8 straight away and then 8 again the following turn.
Yeah, so a solid game there, and just the power of the Charm and the power of Evolve, that mechanic in general, really showing its colours there. And shout out to King Crush for this card consistency as well.
King Crush is one of those minions that newer players like, should I just be disenchanting this? I'm not going to play any big decks. Like, I don't know. There are going to be times you're going to find out where King Crush is pretty awesome.
I'll never disenchant it, even if I never played a day in my life again.
King Crush is just too cool.
We see the patches pick up here for the Mochii, leading through with the 10 Tempo. Oh, not the Tempo Rogue. So this is the Enzoth Rogue, isn't it?
That's right, Enzoth Rogue. You're still not
Enzoth
happy to get
Rogue.
patches in your opening hand, however.
Nope,
But
not at all.
this is going to be interesting. We're seeing Gyatso's Control Mage against Mochii's Enzoth Rogue. This is not a matchup we see very often.
No, and do you think this is a matter of if Gyatso can hit Lich King Jaina relatively early, then it might be game over?
I think so. The Enzoth turn for Mochii can be really big.
Yeah,
It's going to be
right.
depending on how big he can build his Jade Golems. And then sometimes the Enzoth turn can be really big. But the problem is Mochii's not drawing cards as well as Gyatso is with the Arcanologists and Arcane Intellects. That I think Gyatso's going to get to his great late game cards before Mochii is. But it's too early in the game to see at this point. There is a chance that Mochii's going to steamroll things by getting too many Jade Golems up.
Ooh, that's a Prince Taldaram.
Wow, the 3-mana Prince. Goodness me. I guess.
What do you think they're copying? Well, you have Shadowcasters as well, so there's got to be some crazy gimmick that this deck is capable of pulling off. There's got to be some nuts combo. I don't know. What is it?
Well, I mean, if you don't have any other great 3-mana plays, then the Taldaram is just free-rolling at this point. You could be... Can you even copy opponents' minions? Yep, you can copy opponents' minions too. So somebody plays something big, you can have your own 3-mana version of it as well. There's the sprint earlier. I mean, at this point, copying a Jade Spirit doesn't seem exciting. I'm guessing you want to copy the little stealth Jade guy. I can't even remember what that was called. Jade or something? No, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm sure we could look it up if need be.
Interesting decision to make.
Volcanic Potion, Frost Nova, and Kabbalah's Tome. I really like the Frost Nova here. Like, we've got Blizzard in hand, we've got Flamestrike in hand, we've got Baron-Geddon. So we've got a lot of board wipes, so it's not like the Volcanic Potion is necessary. Kabbalah's Tome with our hand so full seems pretty... He's taking the Volcanic Potion, that's fine too. I just felt like there are going to come times in the game where sometimes your opponent's board gets so big that you just have to keep repeatedly freezing it with Frost Nova and things like that.
And there's nothing like a 1-mana Nova.
Exactly. Okay, so Shadowcaster's come down and copied Jade Spirit, which means there's another Jade Spirit in hand, which is really helping Mochii ramp up his Jades. Here comes the Volcanic Potion and a Medivh's Valet to take out the Shadowcaster and a Hero Power to finish off the Jade Spirit that's in play. We have Gyatso's mousing over a Skulking Geist in hand. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not facing a Jade Druid. It's not going to do the same thing here. Can't imagine
Definitely not.
Spells in Mochii's deck either.
I really like the Shadowcaster copying the Spirit and just upping the Jade count in preparing for a really long game.
Absolutely, I do too. And as much as you would probably much rather, Taldaram on Ire Blackpaw.
Oh, yeah, you figured it out.
Here's an extra one. I think it's he's probably just going with the idea, I don't have very many good 3-mana cards that I need to worry about. Let's just play Taldaram because we'll get some value at some point.
There's not a Van Cleef deck, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. They have given up Van Cleef. I mean, I guess they're giving up things like South Sea Captain and Plague Scientist, but clearly this deck does not really worry about those.
No, not at all. I'm actually a fan of this coin sprint here as well.
There it is. Jade Swarmer it's called. We also see a Faceless Manipulator. Goodness me. All right.
Wow.
There was a Journey Below in there. The Skulking Geist took out the Journey Below. And Prince Taldaram. There must be something else. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever it is that Mochii.
There's something I'm missing. Yeah, the Faceless Manipulator got me suspicious again.
I don't know. Maybe they're just copying these Jade Swarmers just to keep ramping up the Jade. Maybe that's what they're going for. And here's
maybe if this deck had a couple of ice blocks, that would be a plausible strategy. But I don't know.
Oh, see, that's the other. And here we have an Eviscerate taking out the Medivh's Valet. See, this is the thing that seems a little dangerous. We've got a couple of Jade Swarmers in play, one of which is a 3/3, admittedly, but Mochii is down to 24 life already. Is about to go down to 20 to the Skulking Geist. We know that Gyatso has got a long-range game plan that can involve burning you out. We see a Frost Bolt in hand. We've got Baron-Geddon even. So there is a chance that Gyatso's going to take some damage. He's passed the turn back with just the Hero Power, though, because he knows that if he did Blizzard, he's going to start freeing Jade Golems. There'll be a 3/3 Jade Golem coming out. And that would just make the Jade Spirit that's coming out even better.
Yeah.
The City Huckster, well, that works very well with Enzoth as well.
This is a Vital Spine as well. Fair enough.
I think that's a Vastbind Slayer that was very important at that point, because otherwise he was not contesting a 4/6 that was going to keep taking large chunks out of Mochii's life total.
Gaiatsu's faced with interesting decisions here. I mean, yeah, Flame Strike, Blizzard possibilities. You're probably not going to be using any of your Novas, at least in this immediate turn. But what kind of AoE would you be looking to use here?
The thing with the Swarmers is you don't really want to use any AoE.
I know,
you need
right?
to be doing AoEs. And I think we're looking at a 3/3 and a 4/4 Jade Golem coming out of those two Swarmers. We've still got a Jade Spirit in hand. So you kind of want to save the Flame Strikes when that kind of thing happens. All right, I like this one. Frostbolt on the 3/3 Swarmer, and then Flame Strike. So that kills the 3/3 Jade Golem, just leaving a 4/4 Jade Golem. And then this is when you start relying on your freezes. And I mentioned earlier
That's a
about
Frost Lich King Jaina coming off the Undercity Huckster.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, maybe this is exactly what the rogue needs to be able to compete with Ice Block.
Yes. So when I was talking about before that you need to rip freezes, this is the point in the game where you want to have a lot of freeze effects when the opposing minions are getting too big. But unfortunately, you don't have a way of dealing with all of that late in the game. Maybe that's why Gyatso has a Yogg-Saron Hope's End in hand. At this point, he needs to, I guess, just Frost Nova for a few turns. He's just Frost Novering and playing Baron Geddon before hoping that a Yogg-Saron saves your bacon. But we all know that that can go either way.
Oh, there's an Assassinate there.
Oh my goodness me. So obviously the plan here is to freeze the opposing ball several times while letting Baron Geddon gently whittle it down. But Assassinate just puts pay to that one immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Frost Lich King Jaina, if the landscape of this game wasn't already too far gone, is going to completely flip it on its head. You're looking at a mage deck that could maybe outlast some of these threats, but with the Death Rattles, the Enzoth, and the Frost Lich King Jaina to make sure you don't die, it's hard for Gyatso, and we're putting our faith in the Yogg.
We see a Forbidden Healing. That'll do nothing. We see a Doom. Oh my goodness me. All right, drawing 6 cards. We're going to be overdrawing some stuff.
The only problem with this is
then
Blizzard
Blizzard
straight into the Jaina here, or even the Enzoth.
Jaina overdrawn. Oh, yeah, and I think if you Mochii, no, I was going to say you're slamming Frostlit Jaina. No, you're slamming Enzoth, and you're getting 1, 2 Swarmers and a Huckster. So not the best Enzoth I've seen, but given that these Swarmers are spitting out a 7/7 and an 8/8 Jade Golem, pretty solid. I like this play from Gyatso, just slamming down an Alexstrasza on face, knowing that at this point he has an Ice Block to protect him. It is now on him to close the game out before Mochii can grind him out with all of his value. We have a Fireball in hand, but we're going to need a little bit more burn than that. Well,
we're going to need a Fireball and a Frostbolt as well.
Oh, Shadowcaster on Enzoth. Oh my goodness me. So Mochii is clearly setting up the long game. But if Mochii attacks past Alexstrasza this time, which he's not, apparently he's Vastbind Slayering it, but if he had left Alexstrasza up, Gyatso could have won this with the Fireball. Unfortunately.
See, I'm not sure about how you don't Frost Lich King Jaina there, to be honest.
Instead of Shadowcastering Enzoth?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the only way you die is if you get 15'd right.
Yes.
Post Alex, like we're seeing the cards in the hand. So Jaina just helps in mitigating that.
I think
we still have a nice block up.
I think you're absolutely right. So there's another fight. Am I disconnecting, or are we just seeing a Fireball hanging there? Is that the spectator mode?
I think maybe you might have a bit of a bug going on. We're all good on this end.
All right, well, I'll trust you on that one. Yeah, we see the second Fireball coming out and a Frostbolt in hand. We now know that Gyatso has the lethal damage in hand, and I think, Shumi, you were absolutely right that playing the Frostlit Jaina last turn would have been the healing that Mochii needed and does not have in his deck otherwise. Well, I'm seeing a Threaten emote coming out, so I'm just going to close down my client and reopen it. It's one of those neat bugs where you see the card hanging there, and then you can still see the emotes and things.
Yeah. It's annoying. I mean, look, in actuality, it looks like it's not going to make a difference as to the timing of the Jaina. It looks like Gyatso's not going to be able to close this out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See a Frostbolt to the face there. Yep, so that's leaving Mochii on 10 health here, with the Ice Block getting surely procced. So I don't think the last card in deck is going to be able to close it out damage-wise.
Alright, back to spectating. There we go. Gosh, what an exciting match. Two decks.
What a cool deck.
Wouldn't have picked seeing either of them in this. Oh, we're still in just in time.
Just in time for the grand finale, the Pyroblast that we didn't know existed. Let's go. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, actually, there is a chance.
Oh, no.
It doesn't deliver this time. So that will be Mochii taking another game in this series.
I thought Gyatso had 2 fireballs and a frostbolt and was fireballing in hand. That was putting Mochii down to 9 health. Why did the fireball and the frostbolt next turn not finish him off?
Because then the Jaina gained the 5 armor.
Oh, of course, the 5 armor from Jaina.
Yep.
Yeah, that's plenty. Yep, unfortunate. Completely forgetting that all Death Knights give 5 armor. What was I thinking? Still, goodness me, what an exciting game that was.
Yeah, and that was cool. And it was cool to see the Rogue really ramp up from kind of doing nothing in the early turns to absolutely going ballistic in the 4-turn window there against the Mage, and seeing Mochii take a game on the back of that awesome deck.
Yeah, and having Mochii cast N'Zoth, getting back 2 Swarmers and a Huckster, and you're like, yeah, that's not that impressive in N'Zoth, and you mouse over those Swarmies, like, oh, make 7/7 and 8/8 golems.
Yeah, they end your game.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely crazy, but I mean, you can't help but think what might have happened if Huckster didn't pull you into one of the rare healing mechanics that Mage has, but hey.
Yeah, that was something else. So, does that mean we've got just Mochii's Paladin left?
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. Paladin on Paladin. Do we remember what Gyatso's Paladin list was? I'm assuming it was probably more.
Control Paladin on Control Paladin. Get ready for the fist.
Oh, goodness me. This is going to be a long one. More importantly, we've got Uther versus Arthas in the hero skins.
That's right.
Do you have any preferences to which Paladin hero skin you use?
I'm an Uther fan, especially when gold portraits are involved. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think I have to agree. I do have to agree. I'm not a fan of that Arthas portrait. I have friends who like it because they think it feels very Warcraft 3, but I never played Warcraft 3, so I see it and I think it just looks like something that was drawn in the 90s.
Isn't it? With it, it's just the blue eyes on the gold Paladin portrait. I just don't know how you can go past it.
Yeah. Uther gets it, you know. That's what's great about Uther. All right, we see a slow start from both players. Hero powering from Gyatso. A Stonehill Defender from Mochii. Kind of what we expected on the control matchup. What's interesting is what this is going to come down to. A Blessing of Kings from Mochii. Can't say I expected that.
No, it's almost a little bit unnecessarily aggressive at this stage in the game, right?
Yeah, so Gyatso's played a Eldor Peacekeeper to make that Stonehill Defender back to a 1 power but now 8 health minion. I'm curious as to whether he was just going to straight up run a Doomsayer into that. But maybe I think Doomsayer is better utilized when you do a wide board clear and then take the initiative back with the Doomsayer. Here we have an Eldor Peacekeeper and it's okay, the Acolyte of Pain, it's not bad. And then the Eldor Peacekeeper starts chipping away at that Stonehill Defender. Yeah, I think the Doomsayer, as tempting as it was to play into that 5/8 Stonehill Defender, you either take Consecration, which is not a card you were, especially keen on eating that quickly. And I think you want to save your Doomsayer for a much more important turn later.
I mean, I found it interesting that Mochii played the Acolyte of Pain, but then used the 1/8 to actually trade off the 1/1 on Gyatso's side of the field. You think he'd be trying to preserve that equity?
Not necessarily, because what can happen here, if both players play in a similar manner throughout the game, is that you'll start to run out of resources and they'll be trading card for card all through to the end of the game, and this might actually go to fatigue. And if you know that it's going to go fatigue, you may not necessarily want to try and get too many cards out of the Acolyte. That said, I think it was risky playing the Acolyte, because if your opponent sees that, they might force you to draw too many cards with it.
Just leave it there. Yeah, true. Very good point.
Well, not just leave it there, just start running and you want to take minions to it. Well, there's the Doomsayer going down to a True Silver Champion. But it does mean that the Stampeding Kodo is going to continue to eat, well, it's going to continue to eat the smaller taunts, but it looks like there's a, yep, there it is, Tyrion is coming down.
I was about to say how much I liked the actual Ragnaros here as well, in addition to the Tyrion option. They were both options.
Yeah.
Just to the potential to
either
have
is fine. And the Lich King, to be honest. I mean, I don't think... Like Gyatso had 3 great 8-drops in hand. And I don't know that it matters too much which one you drop. But I guess the one that's most likely to give you the value if destroyed is Tyrion. So at this point he's saying, Mochii, have you got an answer for Tyrion? And if he does, then you get the Ashbringer, and then you follow up with one of the other 8 drops, which he's now less likely to have an answer for because they spent the answer on Tyrion.
Indeed.
The worst thing Mochii could do to Gyatso here is have a Spellbreaker, I guess, but even then, you still got a 6/6. There's a Hero Power, that's not a Spellbreaker. Sunkeeper Tarim is respectable.
The one off the Stonehill Defender too, so it's good. I think that's about as good a reply as Mochii could have had, considering you're staring down the Tyrion.
Exactly. And of course, the thing that's important there is that he still gets the Ashbringer out of it. So Stampeding Kodo and Ashbringer take out Sunkeeper Tarim, and now he gets to land his Lich King, and hopefully that is more likely to survive. And if Lich King goes down... Oh my goodness me. And if Lich King survives, of course, then Ragnaros Lightlord does something. So Death Grip, steal a minion from the deck. I mean, it's probably going to do something like get a Hydrologist or something out there.
Something silly, yeah.
But Uther, of course, is enough to take down the Lich King along with 3/3 Silverhand Recruit. And then, of course, there's the Happy Ghoul that we saw earlier as the I Gain Some Life. I'm going to have that for free. Let's see what Death Grip gets. It looks like Gyatso just wants to see how we go.
This could be game-changing. I think that's still pretty significant in the context of what's going on. I really like the Smuggler's run here.
That is interesting, isn't it? Like, Lost in the Jungle will pretty much do nothing. Humility will pretty much do nothing, because other than maybe making one of the giant minions smaller, you've got lots of way of clearing the board over and over and over. He took the Humility, though. I would have thought Smuggler's Run would have been so much cooler. There's so many minions in his hand. So much value. It's not like...
There's so much value.
Yeah, like, his hand has got a lot of cards in it. And one of the things you'll find in a Control Paladin Nerf is you just end up with too many cards. Whoa, Skulking Geist.
The Humility's gone.
If only you had taken Smuggler's Run. Yep. By the Holy Light. Seems fair.
We're talking about a 5/9 Primordial Drake. Good luck with that.
Yeah. See, and this is the other thing. Uther just spat out one of the 4 Horsemen, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Gyatso is now on that clock. He's got to deal with that. Although, I guess that Consecration is
I think we're going to see a Primordial Drake here.
Yeah, I think so too. I still think Smuggler's Run would have been good there. It's not like you're going to run low on cards in hand, and that one spell is just going to buff everything in your hand and keep your train going.
And that's about as many minions as a Paladin, Control Paladin's going to have in their hand at any one time. It's about as good as it gets. Absolutely.
Still, they're still trading the resource. This is what I said earlier, is that they're just going to throw haymakers against each other and see who gets there. And this is why I think they were worried a little more about fatigue. There's a Doomsayer. Well, that Doomsayer doesn't need to live if it doesn't want to.
No, so we do have the option of Spike Ridge stealing either of our targets here to deal directly with the Doomsayer should we choose. We also have the availability of Stonehill as well. I think committing anything more than that if we are stealing, we can't. But yeah, I probably think the turn is going to go along the lines of searching for a taunt and then just dealing with the Doomsayer, having the Death Rattle there. Yeah, what do you think?
I mean, the other option, of course, is Consecrationing as well. I think you'd rather save Consecration if Mochii gets into a point where he has 2 or 3 Horsemen in play. But that's your fail-safe. Now, he does have Equality and Pyromancer in hand as well, so I think I'd rather just set up a turn where you're using this Spike Steed, as you said. Oh, nice, he took a Righteous Protector. And I like that, again, as a play, because you can... Did you just go... for a second, I thought he was going face instead of taking out the...
That's what it looked like on my screen as well, I freaked out.
I like the Righteous Protector because it's a 1-mana card that you can play in there, which is why I was hoping you would take the Smuggler's Run last turn, but never mind. So we have a 6/14 Primordial Drake. So at this point, I think Mochii wants to try and answer something on the board. Everything else is inconsequential. There's an Equality. Oh, well, that'll do it.
I mean, what did we think about... It doesn't matter in the context of Equality Consecrate, but what did we think about having the actual Spike Ridge Steed on the Silverhand Recruit rather than making a big 6/14 that could be susceptible to a potential silence or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I definitely think you want to put it on the Silverhand Recruit as well. One thing I think Mochii missed there was he could have attacked the Righteous Protector with his 4 Horsemen first to take the shield off it, and then the Consecration would have killed it, but instead he's just trading it in with the Stegonon, but that's just a minor thing.
And considering using a weapon charging.
Yeah. Here's the Corpse Taker. Well, we're not going to see the Corpse Taker come to play. We can see it's outlined in yellow, so let's see what Righteous Protector is probably buffing it. Tyrion's not buffing it anymore. Ragnaros is healing Gyatso from 13 back up to 21. That's probably quite welcome. The Grave Vengeance weapon for Uther has been healing quite well over on Mochi's side. Oh, I guess we're now on an Uther versus Uther match, seeing as Arthas has been replaced.
Yeah,
so just a quick check here. Mochi's got 13 cards left, and Gyatso's got 14 cards left.
Correct.
I do wonder if they can keep trading resources. If it comes down to it, of course, Mochi's Hero Power is going to defeat Gyatso's Hero Power quite resoundingly. I wonder if with the Corpse Tech in the deck, Gyatso actually has Uther in there or not.
That's a good question. I don't think he does have Uther in there.
No, I don't know that he would either. I think Gyatso's is more a mid-range to control list. Spikeridge Steed on one of the 4 horsemen. Which one is it? Darian Morgraine. So one of the things I like about these 4 horsemen, if you look at the tokens, they've got little legendary badges on them because they are little legendary tokens. I think that's pretty cool.
It is awesome. And I mean, it's kind of brings some reminiscence back to the days of the Justicar Hero Power. Seeing these 2/2s come out, which I absolutely loved. And like you said, over the course of a long game where they're going blow for blow and trying to land the knockout punch, these little 2/2s are going to really be getting in a lot of chip damage and doing a lot of trading. Yeah,
more importantly, they just stack up way better than the opposing Hero Power. Now,
That's right.
Blessing of Wisdom. Not so sure about that. No, Ivory Knight was obviously not promising very many great options here, but Ragnaros is drawing a card and putting 1 damage on the what is it called? The 4 horsemen. So what's interesting here is the 4 horsemen with the Spikeridge Steed on it, with all of Gyatso's minions unable to kill it, is going to protect any further 4 horsemen that come out. Luckily for Gyatso, he has a Equality Pyromancer and Consecration in hand, 2 Equalities and 2 Pyromancers. But that does look like Mochi's game plan only just has to hide behind that Spikeridge Steeded Morgraine there, and Gyatso has to deal with that. And then after Gyatso has dealt with that, then Mochi gets to do whatever else he was holding in hand.
Well, pressing that Hero Power button every turn, I think that's probably the biggest part to play in who's going to start running away with this. I mean, you can have Lich King and you can have all these, quote-unquote greedy cards in your deck, but if you haven't packed Uther in there and you do run into the 1 control Paladin Mirror this weekend, you might be in some strife.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Mochi is trying to press his point with a Consecration, which takes out the Ragnaros. And then his weapon is taking out the Ivory Knight. Yeah, it looks like that Mochi is putting Gyatso in a position where he needs to start using the Equality Pyromancer and liberally, which is probably what Mochi wants. Okay, there's a Consecration without the Equality Pyro. That's fine, and then a Hydrologist, and then a Corpse Taker. Hydrologist got the Getaway Kodo. Corpse Taker gets
Taunt.
Just Taunt. All right. So that, I guess, is there a Spikeridge? A Stonehill Defender left? That's what that's got it from. Chillblade Champion for Mochi.
Yeah.
Mochi is considering how to attack, of course. Looks like the Chillblade Champion is going into the Corpse Taker.
Yeah, I mean, if you're clearing both minions, I guess it doesn't particularly matter, right?
No, I don't think it matters either. I guess you're not clearing both minions, because Morgraine turns into a Stegodon and the Chillblade Champion goes face.
That's right. That is a cool
Stonehill Defender?
Yeah.
Who's this one? This one is Inquisitor Whitemane.
Alright, so we're definitely going to open Stonehill here. Unfortunately, there's no Tyrion or anything like that. We probably go Kodo into Skulking Geist here, I imagine. Or do we?
Yeah, well, you're certainly not going to play the Kodo if you're Skulking Geist first. No, he's just doing with the Equality Pyromancer clear. And is he playing the Kodo and Hero Powering? Or is he just skipping Hero Powering?
I don't think he's Hero Powering. I think he's doing a gigantic setup for Giant Mastodon.
Yeah, but I mean, is Giant Mastodon really worth it? Oh, look at that. Mochi's got Corpse Taker as well, and his Corpse Taker has Divine Shield and Taunt.
Yeah, I think that's,
and that's also going to help protect those horsemen. Yeah, it's Ace of Tyrion, yeah.
Now, if you have an incorrect read here that this is redemption and you, for some reason, floated the Doomsayer, you could find yourself in a world of pain with the getaway Kodo.
Yeah.
Will be interesting. This is the part of the game where the skill between players is going to play a super big part. There's so many different variables in how they can play their hands and stuff, especially considering the horsemen, the hero powers, the evenness and cards left in deck. This really just becomes a grindy matchup.
Yeah. What's interesting, of course, is that, given that Gyatso played the secret the turn 4 and then didn't hero power, that sort of suggests that it is getaway Kodo. But then maybe he was just trying to fake Mochii out.
Yeah. The mind games are on. And you got to wonder what you want to do here if you're Gyatso. You're in quite a weird position. And you start to get a little bit worried about the 4 horsemen as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for a quality pyro. I thought he was going to go for consecration to take the shield off the corpse taker and then skulking geist, but instead he's gone for a quality pyro and the skulking geist. Well, now your getaway Kodo gets you back a skulking geist, which doesn't sound that fantastic.
I'm a big fan of this Doomsayer, yeah?
Yeah, I think so too, because at this point you're more than happy to take 4 to the face.
Oh yeah. And we got to wonder if we're going to see the Tarim here. I don't imagine we do. Not sure about playing the Doomsayer into the death here.
I am trying to figure that one out. Yeah, there's the whoops. I mean, I guess you want the...
You're going to get back the one you played first, though, regardless.
Yeah. It's not like you have too many cards in hand that you just need to throw it away. And you're always going to get the card that came into play first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gyatso's going down to Mochii's lineup, and Mochii's ahead, right? If Mochii wins this game, that's the match taken.
Yes.
And there's a Hydrologist not giving you the cards you need. Noble Sacrifice, Eye for an Eye, or Repentance. None of those are exactly stellar in the control matchup.
You definitely...
I think I would have held off on the secret and just... No, I don't know. I was going to say Hero Power and then Tarim, but the opposing True Silver Champion and minions just make that.
Definitely swinging with our Mistress of Mixtures first, regardless. Good sequencing. You'd be very happy to see that.
Yep, absolutely. And the True Silver Champion is really going to help keep Gyatso off the board, which Mochii's probably going to grind out more of these 4 horsemen. I mean, we know Gyatso is holding on to a consecration in the event that the 4 horsemen get out of control, but he's going to run out of resources. He can't deal with them twice. At this point, Gyatso has 5 cards left and Mochii has 6 cards left. So taking the Hammer of Wrath over the Hand of Protection or the Blessing of Might is just going to put him so much closer to fatigue. There's a Hand of Protection protecting the Ivory Knight.
I mean, these Ivory Knights have been super underwhelming for both players, unfortunately. We haven't seen any big spells come out at all.
No.
Which is quite saddening for us and our entertainment value, but that's okay. So I believe we are going to see one of the 2/2 tokens take a value bump into the Divine Shield here and have the True Silver Champion finish off the 1/4 body here. Again, you're pretty much acknowledging that I was never going to get the 4 horsemen to resolve regardless.
Well, it looks like Mochii passed up on that.
Wow.
And
that with in mind, we have Tarim here as well. It's actually a pretty big turn.
It is a pretty good turn for Gyatso. I don't know whether Mochii accidentally pressed end turn before doing that or what, but Gyatso left on the opportunity to Consecration and Tarim there, so now Gyatso has aboard 2 3/3s and his own Tarim, and Mochii has nothing and has taken a bunch of damage. Of course, unsurprisingly, Mochii is about to quality pyro this all away, but I don't know that Mochii needed to be in a position to do that.
Lich King into this.
Yeah.
You should know basically every card remaining in your opponent's deck at this point as well, so yeah, find that really compelling.
In theory you do, but at this point we've seen that Mochii is playing some odd choices, so you never know.
The creativity, is apparent. That is for sure.
Spike Ridge Steed on Tarim lets, I was going to say one of the 3/3s take out the Lich King, but apparently he's taking 8 on the chin to do that, and allowing one of his 3/3s to eat the 4 horsemen and the other one to go face. I guess Tarim being a 5/5 now is still the perfect size in the face of that other True Silver champion. Here we have a Death Grip. Are there any minions left to take? Yep,
Oh, the Curator.
Risky. Not that you'll actually draw any cards off it at this point in the game. There's a second equality Pyro, but that's still going to leave Gyatso with a Stegodon.
And the Geist is quite a big body at this point in the game, as trivial as that is.
Yeah, mind you, I see a Blackguard in Mochii's hand.
And that's an Enzoth.
Enzoth. It only gets Bacterian, but that'll do. So I'm guessing that Mochii is going to play a Blackguard and is going to attack with the True Silver champion into that Stegodon. Not that the 2 damage is going to do anything from the Blackguard, but at least you try and get some value out of it. I guess what you'd be hoping is that the Blackguard would shoot the shield off Tyrion, but even then, what a turnaround from Gyatso here.
Yeah, went from losing that game for a good maybe 10, 15 turns to spiking that Tyrion turn and just really putting a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, held his nerve and looks like it's really going to pay off. I don't see how you get through this Tyrion at this point, especially with that other equality gone. Yeah, we see 3 secrets that are pretty inconsequential to this board state.
I don't think any secret would have helped against the Enzoth.
Daddy, time has dinner. No, Anna.
I mean, the real issue here is that both players are getting very close to fatigue. So the fact that Gyatso has a bunch of minions in play, more than Mochii, it just means that the fatigue is going to be almost catastrophic for Mochii.
That's right. Do you run with the Drake here?
I guess he is. Clears out the board. Nope. Just ran Tyrion in instead. Get away, Kodo. Curator. That's fair enough. But look, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Mochii is so low on cards as well.
But if you were going to Drake, then you've just missed 6 damage. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you want to close this game out when you're 2 cards behind in fatigue.
Yeah. And it's not like you were testing for a noble sacrifice. You'd already done that.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's been a long day and a bit of fatigue really does kick in. And it does really suck for Mochii that Tyrion was the second last card in his deck.
Yeah. That said, it's still an excellent play this turn.
Oh, yeah.
Or is he just dead? I think he's just dead. Because he plays Tyrion. The Silverhand recruit takes the shield off, Tyrion, and then Ashbringer, Geist, and Enzoth will finish off Mochii.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot of cute ways to do it. And that will be a wrap. So we'll be heading to Game 5 with that in mind.
Yeah. Is it Game 5 already? I thought it would be Game 4. But either way, we thought Mochii was going to be closing out the match with this, and it does not look like he's going to.
No.
Actually, I like this play because Curator here does not allow Gyatso... I was going to say, doesn't allow Gyatso to trade away the Tyrion. It looked like he was about to trade the Hydrologist in, which would have allowed him to. So he doesn't have lethal quite yet. Yes, he does. Primordial Drake allows him to kill off Tyrion. There we go.
There we go. Nice fancy leaf that'll finish things off. Alright, Gyatso holding his nerve and just waiting for his point to get in a little bit of chip damage and present the board that went from 2-1-1s to Tyrion with a 3-7 and 2-3-3. So that was really the turning point there.
Wow, yeah, that was an incredible turn. We thought that Mochii was going to use the second half of his True Silver champion to take out that 1-4 Ivory Knight. He decided not to, and Gyatso was able to turn the game around with Consecration and Sunkeeper Tarim. Incredible.
It's funny how you can invest about half an hour of your life into a game and play close to perfectly the entire time, and one little non-trade or one little slip up here, and the opponent can run away with the game. But so control mirrors should be like that, though. That's the beauty of control
that's right. And I think you're right. You see that fatigue over a long period of time is what causes that kind of thing to happen. So this will be interesting. Mochii, of course, is queuing up his Paladin again, and now Gyatso's got the Control Mage. It's really hard to know who would be favoured in this one because we don't see this very much on the ladder either.
I think this just comes down to how quickly you can find Frostledge King Jaina. If you can find that relatively early, I don't know how the Paladin puts enough pressure on you to close proceedings, especially considering you have cards like Polymorph in your deck.
No, absolutely, I agree with that. I mean, we do know that Mochii's deck is capable of presenting a lot of late-game threats here. Maybe to overload the Polymorphs and things like that, but I think Mage is better suited for drawing the cards to get through to those key cards. And I think pretty sure there was an Alex Stryzer in here as well, so Alex Stryzer Fireballs and Frostbolts can close the game out unexpectedly. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, it will be. I imagine we'll just see the Ice Block get loaded up here, bump into the Silverhand Recruit, the game will go on. And I imagine in return we're going to see a Stonehill Defender, perhaps, or a Corpse Taker.
Corpse Taker's pretty good. I was just trying to figure out whether I would have played the Ice Block last turn or used the Hero Power. Like, I think this is going to be a lot of value. Wow, okay. Corpse Taker did not get Divine Shield. It's because Tyrion's in hand.
And that's
Tyrion's
a lot
the
of
only thing giving
information.
Divine Shield, so there you go.
Yeah.
It's a great deal of information. Allowing the Frostbolt to take out that Corpse Taker and keep the Arcanologist going is quite something. I was just considering, all right, what are you got to do to get through the Corpse Taker? But seeing it without Divine Shield, that's something else. I'm not sure about playing Corpse Taker in a deck that's not running Righteous Protector. I think Righteous Protector is needed to make sure that Corpse Taker is more consistent.
Or I'm wondering why Wicker Flame Burn Bristle doesn't have a place in the deck as at least that second Divine Shield target if you're going to play control strategy. Yeah,
so Primordial Glyph gets him a Mirror Entity.
I mean, in what world is Happy Ghoul a better replacement for Wicker Flame Burn Bristle?
Well, maybe Mochii doesn't have Wicker Flame Boom Bristle. I mean, that's a possibility too, right?
True.
So are we thinking that this Mirror Entity is going to come down turn 7 in anticipation of the Tyrion that Gyatso has correctly figured out is in Mochi's hand? And if that's the case...
that's the reasoning. I think that's fantastic.
Does Mochii go, I smell a trap?
I'm not sure. I do know we'll very like the Skulking Geist here, but yeah, I like the Mirror Entity take.
No, okay, we're hero powering
Shield
shield
kind of
off there.
scaring Gyatso away. This play now is very weak to a True Silver Champion though, but I think you have to follow through. I don't think you can justify fireballing a 3/4 that came off a Stonehill Defender. You're just losing way too much value.
No, yeah, I think you still have to go for the Doomsayer because I like keeping that fireball. As I mentioned, one of your game plans involves Alexstrasza and as much burn as possible, and you've already used one of your Frostbolts.
Yep.
So I think you want to save the fireball as long as possible. You also know that there's a Tyrion coming, and you may need that fireball for that.
I do like that this Doomsayer is, also getting in the way of the Ivory Knight actually sticking to the board. I like it in that regard.
Oh, that's true too. Very true. I wasn't thinking that playing Ivory Knight was conceding that the Doomsayer is going to go off. There's the second Frostbolt.
The awkwardness of Skulking Geist here, though, is that you had to play the Mirror Entity or it gets blown up, right?
What? No, you don't, because Skulking Geist looks at the starting mana cost, not what it's been reduced to.
There you go. I didn't know that.
No, it was an interesting one. A lot of people have asked about it and tested it out. So if you still were playing Emperor Thorison and Wild, for instance, you couldn't reduce all the Jade Idols in your deck to 0 to get around that, for example.
So the question begs of itself, if the Corpse Taker doesn't have Divine Shield, you put 2 and 2 together, my opponent runs Tyrion every single time, then why are we playing that not into the turn 8, we're playing it into the turn 7?
Yeah, I think it was a misplay, to be quite honest. I think maybe he was miscounting when his opponent was about to play things.
Is it perhaps possible that he thought what I thought, is that Skulking Geist will blow up a discounted spell?
Maybe. Even then, I don't know. Either way, the Blackguard is not exactly exciting for the Mage to have him play, and it certainly didn't take away the Paladin's one. A Blessing of Kings. See, this is where Mochi's interesting deck choices really serve him well.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so Blessing of Kings on the Blackguard, and Eldor Peacekeeper to make Medivh smaller, and that meant the Blackguard is still a 7/12 and really imposing on the board. So Flame Strike with Atiation play, fair enough.
Oh wow.
I was going to say we don't have enough damage to finish the Blackguard, but there's the Frostbolt.
And we can just go on top of it, especially with the Swamp King Dread locking down the potential cards that we play on the board. Do you want to play Pyromancer into Equality? Well, no, you can't do that now.
No. I think you're still happy just to play Tyrion, though, because the shield comes off, if that's what you're going to go with. Or, well, Mistress of Mixtures doesn't do a lot other than gain you some health. And
yeah, you might as well take the full health while you have the mana, right?
Yeah. Gain life.
Now we can play Tyrion.
Of course, they both gain life, so both Blackguards triggered. And there's the Happy Ghoul
coming in clutch. I really like the sequencing from Mochii.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got a bit lucky with the Blackguard hitting Dread, but that was not how I expected that turn to go.
My goodness. All right, so do we see a ping onto the Tyrion, perhaps into Blizzard, into Medivh? So, oh no, we're seeing 5. Yeah. I think I would have liked to have seen the Blizzard just for the 6-drop.
Yeah, I kind of think so, but then of course Tyrion's still in the way, and then you have to trade your Skulking Geist in. This way, I mean, I know the minion isn't as big that you get out of it, but at least Tyrion's out of the way and you can get in the damage. Downside here, of course, is that your opponent has an anti-ash and can attack with it if you want, but I guess they are a bit low on health.
What I find interesting is that
I'm guessing
Gyatso is putting a significant amount of pressure on Mochii here.
There it is, Chillbane Champion Spikeridge Steed.
That is cute interaction.
For a lot of life for Mochii.
We'll see if the AI can pick up the main deck's polymorph here. I think definitely just a polymorph in this, that's for sure.
I think so. That would close out the game entirely. And he's digging for it. It's a Frost Nova. Medea's Valet. I mean, that'll do. It takes out the Chillbane.
You can ping it off and avoid that 5 health going on.
Yeah.
So Gyatso keeps rolling with the punches and still has a very menacing build moving forward. He's asking the answers of Mochii. See the Lich King picked up there.
The desperate
testing mirror entity.
Well, it's a good test. But this way, the Lich King, of course, is protecting the Doomsayer as well. So there's a chance that Doomsayer will go off. There's an oops emote as if pretending, but I think that is that fireball just enough?
If we went to it's a fireball, and then we had 7, 8, 10. It's been a long day. I don't think there's lethal there.
No, there's not lethal there. It does deal with the Doomsayer, and there's still enough minions, of course, to deal with the Lich King as well. I guess the question is whether you lead with a Blizzard to get more damage on the face. I guess you're not going to have very many great Blizzards against a control Paladin.
Not well in this position anyway, I don't think. When you're just trying to close out the game. It depends what you're trying to do if you Gyatso here. In Death Knight, Lich King Jaina could be in any number of the 12 cards left in your deck, so it's not reliable at this point as such.
I do like Fireball, Hero Power. Oh, he's trading in the Medea's Valet. I guess he wants to keep the Swarmer so that if there is some kind of board clear, you still keep applying pressure. But it's not like Mage does a great job of utilizing 1/1s that are left after a board clear. You know, It's not like they're going to be able to slap a Spikeridge Steed on it or anything like that. So I don't think keeping the Swarmer around is that important. And I think keeping the Medea's Valet might have been better because it at least survives a consecration.
Yeah, I think that was pretty conservative play, and perhaps the Blizzard could have definitely been expended there to just further your reach and try and close out the game instead of letting Paladin run the long race that it's good at running.
Yeah. So Blessed Champion is not exactly going to be closing any games very soon, but at least it did gain 5 health for Mochii. There's another Doomsayer. This one might go off. I mean, it won't because of the Blizzard, but you'd be thinking maybe it would go off this time.
Oh, Glyph and a Pyroblast will do it.
Have we got a Pyroblast? Still
no
no
Pyroblast. Potion of Polymorph.
Well, Potion of Polymorph will...
See, I find it interesting that he fought so hard to fend off the first Doomsayer and then lets the other one go with like a whole 3 seconds of thought.
Yeah, I think he just slammed the Glyph when he drew it, thinking maybe he would get a Pyroblast or something, or another Fireball, and instead... got the Potion of Polymorph, thought I'll just put that in play, and then realized he couldn't kill the Doomsayer. Was like, Here comes a wild sheep. There it is.
In all its glory.
Which is fine. It's not like the sheep was going to be doing anything useful.
Yeah, the only question is, do you feel uncomfortable enough to True Silver here to take the swing for the extra heal?
Looks like he's overwriting the last charge of his Ashbringer with a True Silver Champion just to gain 2 life. Well, gain 1 life and take out the Jade Golem. I don't know that the Jade Golem is that much of a concern.
No, as you were saying, the mage has no way to utilize the 1/1s effectively.
No. There's a Polymorph unnecessary.
How did you feel about pinging one of the peons and Doomsayer in there to make the opponent do something or let it go? Or I guess there's no guarantee we're drawing into anything though.
That's what I would have done. Like, a Spikeridge Steed means the Doomsayer goes down. But at least hero powering one of them down helps. I mean, you've used both your fireballs, so it's not like a hero power on the face is going to be what wins you the game, I think. But no, maybe it does. Maybe over the next 10, 11 turns, you hero power them down. But I mean, at that point, both players will have reached the end of their decks. So there's the AI. He's just slammed that into play. So he's just conceding that he's not winning on
Jaina. Surely you play the Frost Nova?
I'm
No?
assuming he is doomsayering a Frostnova ring here. Nope, he's just doomsayering. Gutsy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it probably doesn't make a difference in the context of what's going on, honestly, but I still think Frostnova to ensure that clear and make sure nothing sticky's happening, to make sure your Jaina goes on as clean as possible is just the best way to win, the cleanest way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the fact that Gyatso has drawn his Jaina now and Mochii has not yet drawn his Uther is possibly what's going to...
Oh, and Mochii missing a point of damage there with this sequencing as well.
Yep. 2 points of damage even.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, interesting play. Again, I think Mochi's again gone and changed the play in the middle of the turn.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which again has some dire consequences. If I was the Paladin, I would probably just pack it up right here and there.
Yep, I kind of think so too, unless Uther turns up. But the Mage being on so much health and now being Jaina, Frostlich Jaina, it's not great. Unsurprisingly, the Wild Pyromancer is trading into the first Water Elemental. A Blessing of Kings makes the Hero Powered token not be a 1/1, and then he's Hero Powered and said, whoops.
I would be very happy to Flame Strike and just ping this off for an early here.
Yeah, I think I would too. I mean, you could save it, but I don't think it's that necessary.
I think one of the skills of this deck is realizing that, yes, like the cards that I have that lower my opponent's ceiling are of extremely high value, but sometimes it's very okay to just use them for tempo or use them to extract less value, but looking to do things such as closing out games when you should be. It's a balancing act.
I mean, you'd think you can get more value out of a Flame Strike, sure. But that turn was going to wipe your opponent's board and let you create a Water Elemental. That's good enough. A Consecration on the one Water Elemental,
no,
and then Hero Power again. Ugh. I mean, you think, alright, so we've taken it off the board. That way, he can't just Hero Power again to make another Water Elemental.
Hero Power and pass, that's all you got to do, Gyatso, and you're doing it perfectly. So we do see the DP coming from Mochii, but
it's a little late, because you can't exactly attack the Water Elemental very happily. And if you do attack the Water Elemental, you get frozen. Yep. No, not necessarily. That Doom Pact. Doom Pact is going to clear all the Water Elementals.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I forgot about the Doom Pact completely. It's not like you're behind in fatigue. Valid point.
I don't think you're entirely happy to Doom Pact, but it'll work. There's the Doom Pact.
Guys,
there's a guys don't care about hide.
They're not big losses in context of what's going on.
No.
I think you just ping the 2-1 and 2-2 and pass. Yeah, I don't think you need to Yogg. You got 2 cards left in your deck.
Yeah, that seems risky. Yogg's not dead yet. Yogg's alive. Yogg's filling your hand with
Blizzard and all the cards in your hand are alive here, including the Blizzard. So the mana's been reset.
Oh, Explore Angora. So that means the whatever he had left in his deck is no longer there. Treachery. Oh. Yep, gave him Yogg. Is Yogg still there? Yes, but unfortunately, Yogg is now casting cards on behalf of Mochii, I believe. Yep, there they go.
This is hilarious. I don't think you can be emoting and saying, why am I frozen hard about what's going on here? When you played the Yogg, you didn't have to.
Oh, the scales on the Yogg. It's a 17-12 Yogg. Oh, right, no. Well,
here comes the Blizzard.
Well, at least the rest of the board, but that was not pretty for Gyatso.
You need to stop emoting at this point and realize it's just unnecessary. You had total control of the game. The only way you lose it is if you give the game to the opponent. Yogg's a way to do that.
Faith in Yogg. Mochii has got to be happy with this. Gyatso is almost out of cards, and of course, they are all choose your path. Yes, a polymorph on Yogg is probably a good idea at this point, but now you're still facing down a Ragnaros Lightlord. And a Hunter Secret. What could it be?
I guess we should have tested for that first with the swing.
Yeah, I think Gyatso is possibly a little
bit tilted. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have to play Frostnova this turn. We should try attack that sheep first, right?
Yes.
Oh, I am very confused.
Yeah, me too. Okay, why not attack the sheep and survive and raise a pedal the 2-2? Yeah, let's assume Gyatso is a little bit tilted and tired and worn out and upset about how his Yogg went. Or maybe he's just loving it because he wanted to see what Yog would do and think it was pretty fun.
And we see Nubs actually dropping a lol in Twitch chat there at the Yog, and Nubs will be going up against the winner of this game. Shout out to Nubs.
Getting a good look at what he's going to be going up against.
And Nubs, if you are actually still in Twitch chat, we were both very impressed with your play before, so we look forward to seeing you in just a moment.
Absolutely, Nubs. Good, well played. Mochii's happy to freeze his own face to take out that water elemental, healing up to 46 health.
Lister guy, how to lose an unlosable game.
Yogs are on.
All you had to do was keep making water alleys, and you had polymorphs, you had all the freeze in the world.
Yeah, your deck had some great stuff. Not anymore.
This looks like all she wrote, just about. You're going to be hitting for 10, you're going to be taking some fatigue damage. I mean, you're going to be able to give these minions Divine Shield.
Oh my god, this is just a mess for MonkGyatso.
I feel bad for Gyatso because for the majority of the series, or the majority of the day, the decks were good, the plays were good. And we just played one card to our entire deck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to tell Mochii how to play this situation where he's clearly winning, but wouldn't it have been cool to give Divine Shield to both those 4 horsemen just to help you pull off the combo kill?
Oh,
mind you, I don't think you actually pull off the
mate.
combo kill before fatigue would kill you. There's the Hunter Trap. There's a Frost Nova. So it looks like Gyatso is gaining a bunch of health here, but he's got a long uphill struggle here with Mochii at now 44 health, and I don't think he's going to get there.
Literally deals with Baron Geddon way too well.
Yeah. When you're on 44 health, I think you're happy face tanking this 7-5.
And the Horseman, again, is going to make 2/2s that aren't susceptible to Jane's hero power. It's just so relevant.
Yeah, it takes you 2 turns to take out just one of them, which means you're not... Oh my gosh, an Eldor Peacekeeper to make killing the... not even necessary. It's more like the Robins at this point.
And it looks like Mochii's going to walk on forward to the Lizard Bracket final against Nubs 11, and the winner of that will verse Blip.
Poor Gyatso, he's still trying. No, he's conceded. Fair enough.
Yeah, it is fair enough. Yogg-Saron taking another life, another soul.
Alright, so